Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Wendy and I'm with Inspire Ministries, and I'm so glad that you have landed on this channel today. If you are returning, welcome back. I'm so glad you are here as well, and I pray that this message today will benefit you regardless of where you find yourself on your walk with Jesus. If you have a Bible, I would love for you to go get it. Meet me back here. Let's dive into the Word of God together. We will be in the book of Luke, and I pray again that this message blesses you. Go get your Bibles, meet me back here, and let's get started into the video. I was thinking about this the other day. I was recalling a hike that my husband and I had taken a few years ago. We had lived back in our old home in Indiana, and we had this wonderful nature preserve behind our home that we used to take these long, glorious walks on. And it was a Sunday afternoon. The time of year was about this time. It was beautiful fall day. It was sunshiny. The weather was beautiful. Leaves were turning colors. Leaves were all around us on the ground, and it was absolutely a wonderful day to take a hike. Now, it had kind of turned about halfway through our hike. All of a sudden, the sky turned gray and it looked like it was going to storm. But one of the things that I thought about that I wanted to share with you today is a conversation that my husband and I had on this particular hike. Now, there was this moment in our hike where Trevor identified the difference between him and I as we were on our walk. Now, he is an observer and I am more a missionary. And it's true for both of us, really. He is more the observant one. He takes his time. He sees the beauty that is always all around us. He stops often to snap photos on our walks. He's unconcerned about his pace, but not me. I'm totally different when it comes to taking walks or being on hikes of any kind. When I'm out there, I'm on a mission. My focus is on getting in my steps. My focus is on all of that being tracked correctly. My goal is to get it done, to check it off the list, and continue on with my day. And then I noticed something about this particular way that I was walking on this particular Sunday a few years ago. My neck started to stiffen up. I mean, it got really tight and I was having a really painful experience in my neck. The pain became so intense as we rounded that last curve towards home, and just as the rain began to pelt us in the face. And yet when I lifted my head, I noticed something. The pressure in my neck was relieved. When I turned my face upward, the pain seemed to lessen. I had been on such a mission on this particular walk and was so improperly fixated on my stride, I had managed to inflict unnecessary pain in my neck and in my back. And the only one real solution for this was to look up. In Luke chapter 21, Jesus is preparing his students for the coming of the Son of Man. In his prediction for future events, he was lovingly preparing their hearts for his departure and yet for his subsequent and ultimate return. Take a look at verses 25 through 27 in Luke 21, and I'm going to read them to you out of the New Living Translation. It says this: "There will be strange signs in the sun, moon, and stars, and here on earth the nations will be in turmoil, perplexed by the roaring seas and the strange tides. People will be terrified at what they see coming upon the earth, for the powers in the heavens will be shaken. Then everyone will see the Son of Man coming on a cloud with power and great glory." And then take a look at what it says just after that in verse 28. It says this: "So when all these things begin to happen, stand and look up, for your salvation is near." Ah, yes, Jesus, I remember. I just need to look up. Look up and be redeemed. Look up and find comfort. Look up and see his face and know that everything is going to be okay. And Jesus says, when these things begin to happen, stand and look up. I barely noticed the solution until I was rounding that bend nearing home. If I had only looked up earlier in that walk, on that hike with my husband on that Sunday afternoon, I may have saved myself some needless suffering. You see, we get so bogged down with the worldly evil when we remain ground focused. All has a tendency to look like turmoil and trial that leads us to unnecessarily being terrified. When we insist on keeping our eyes on foundation level, we miss a whole world, a heavenly kingdom He has designed for those who know Him and love Him. And this is the reality that we need to stay focused on. It did my neck a world of good when I shifted my gaze upward. When I looked up towards heaven, every pain that I was experiencing in my neck and in my back was lessened. If I were to experience that kind of healing in my neck that day, imagine the healing that would come to our very souls if we intentionally altered our eyesight. At the closing up of Jesus's earthly ministry, He spent time talking quite sharply to His disciples, warning them of what was to come, how to behave, what to expect, and what to do from there on out. In Luke chapter 21 and 22, we read a variety of commentary to His men. In chapter 21, verse 28, He says again, when these things happen to you, when these trials happen to you, stand up and look up, for your salvation is near. In chapter 21, verses 34 through 35b, it says this, watch out and don't let your hearts be dulled by carousing and drunkenness and by the worries of this life. Don't let that day catch you unaware like a trap. In chapter 21, verse 36, it says this, keep alert at all times. Jesus says, and pray that you might be strong enough to escape the coming horrors and stand before the Son of Man. In chapter 22, verse 20, Jesus says, this cup is my agreement confirmed with my blood, which is poured out as a sacrifice to you. In chapter 22, verse 22, He says, sorrow awaits the one who betrays the Son of Man. And then finally, in chapter 22, verse 26, He says, among you things will be different. Those who are the greatest among you should take the lowest rank, and the leader should be like a servant. These are all of the things that Jesus was talking to His disciples about before He went to the cross, the things that He found to be most valuable and most important for them to know. On the way to their eternal happiness, Jesus was giving them warnings of what was to come and expectations for how they were to handle things in His absence. According to Luke 22:31, they must expect the same kind of temptations as Jesus suffered this side of eternity. They must expect to be assaulted and even sifted by Satan. And so must we. Listen, I know we are living in very turbulent times right now in our society, in our communities, in our families, in our nation, and in our world. But if I were sitting across from you today and I was having coffee with you and I wanted to encourage your heart this morning, I would say this. As we approach the coming of another year, we are in the last phase of 2025, and it's hard for me to even believe, wrap my head around the fact that January, a new year, 2026, is really right around the corner. But I would say this same thing that Jesus was telling His disciples. Beware of evil all around you. You have a real enemy of your soul. If he cannot destroy you, listen, he will try to disgrace you and distress you, but don't let him. Don't let him. These were warnings given to us by Jesus. They were the ones that he gave to his closest friends, and they are for you and I as well. We must watch and pray, according to Matthew 26:41. Always watch and pray, lest we be tempted to be destroyed by the enemy's attacks and consumed by the very sins that we were so heavily and stringently against at the start of our journey. The road is difficult, friends. It's winding. It has really bad weather out there. There's a lot of things that is happening around us. There's a lot of bad, a lot of evil, a lot of disgusting things that are around us. But the road is difficult, but it's not impossible for those of us who are traveling with Christ. Read his words again and take heed of his warnings and do all you can to stand. And while you are standing, lest you hurt your neck or hurt your back or injure yourself any further, look up. Look up. Look up at what he's doing. Look up at what he has said. Look up to what he has promised. Look up to your future, your hope, which is eternal glory. Listen, I was talking to somebody the other day and I said, there is something about what we are dealing with in this world today. There is something that is all consuming about what we are experiencing. But can I tell you that maybe one of the things that we can start doing in our life is stop consuming so much. Just stop consuming so much. Listen, one of the things that I have noticed, thinking about that pain in my neck, thinking about that pain in my back, what I tend to get most distracted by in my day, to be honest with you, is scrolling on social media. I think that there's a name for it and they call it doom scrolling now. And this is what happens when we consume too much. I always get this pain in my neck from looking down, scrolling on social media, looking down, consuming the news, and looking down at what's going on in our world today. And can I tell you that we have every reason to avoid looking down and looking up. One, because it's not where Jesus is. Jesus is not in that doom scrolling. He does not want us to consume all of that stuff, all of that evil, all of that wickedness. He wants us to be wise with what we are feeding our soul with. He wants us to be wise with what we are looking at. He wants us to be wise with what we are consuming. And listen, it is really all around us right now. I see it, especially now. I was talking to somebody recently and they were asking me if I spend a lot of time on social media, Facebook particularly, because a part of my ministry, an extension of my ministry, the kitchen table, is on Facebook. So they were asking me if I really spend a lot of time on Facebook or do I really only just come on to post? And the answer really changes. It really shifts depending on what's going on around me, actually, and inside of me. And here is what I want to tell you today as well, a practical tip, something that is not only practical but practicable. If you find yourself struggling in the evil world, concentrated on fear-mongering and sinful divisiveness, can I tell you, stop consuming so much. Stop looking down at your phone. Stop looking at social media. Stop engaging in the war of evil and wickedness. Stop looking down at media and at the news that is always at our fingertips on our phone. Stop consuming so much and spend time focusing only on what you have time for and what you are willing to and what you have time to pray into. This has really become important for me. Listen, there are a lot of things that we can consume, but there's not a lot of healthy things that we were meant to consume. There's just not a lot of things that are worthy of our time, worthy of our devotion, worthy of our attention. There's just some things that are just unnecessary for us to consume and for us to see. And so my advice to you would be this: stop consuming so much, or at least be willing to only consume that with what you have time to pray into. What do you have time to pray for? What do you have time to actually spend time talking to God about, petitioning the throne room of God about, and only consume that? We were not designed to consume this much evil and ugliness and anger and war and hate. We were not meant to see the horrors of our current culture. We were meant to look at Jesus, to look up, to stay focused on where he's working and what he is doing. Be focused on the promises of God. Be focused on what he has said to us in his word. Be focused on what he desires from us and for us, what his will is for our life. These are the things that we should be looking to. Stop consuming so much. Stop looking downward. Stop being laser focused on things that no longer serve a heavenly purpose in your life. And when we do this, I believe it will change everything about how we are living for Christ this side of eternity. Friend, I hope that this has encouraged you today. I hope that you have been inspired today, and I hope that you have been challenged to go deeper in your walk with Jesus. If you have liked this video, just go ahead and give it a huge thumbs up down below. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Also, hit that notification bell below. That way you are notified for every time that I upload content just like this one. And between now and my next video, friend, I pray that you have an amazing day with Jesus. Bye, friends.